Hello and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight, we're going to do something just a tad bit different. I want to talk about uh, getting back to work after the loss of a family member. I mean, well, most of you who have been listening to the show already know about my own current loss of my father about 5 months ago. And tonight I thought that we could kind of continue just a little bit along that segment about about just the grief and how to get along with different things like that. And tonight, joining my conversation as she makes a grand entrance is the literary vixen herself, Laura. Let me send you an invite to the mic there, Laura. All right, let me see if I can't get you on. There she is.
Hello?
There you are. You're connected. All right. I'm telling you, Laura and I have been talking off and on today, and it just feels like it's been a task. I don't know about you, Laura, but I feel like I've got a nice glass of wine in front of me. It feels like one of those days.
Oh, sure. I have one waiting for me.
Well, I'm a little courageous. We're just going to do that right on the mic.
I'm
So,
here for it.
I know you are, girl. You're my you're my anchor. So, I was doing some research as I try to do with each podcast. And one of the things that I found interesting was that bereavement. And if you have a traditional job, that 9 to 5 or just the early mornings or the late night shift. Oh, there goes my dog starting out. And anyways, if you talk about bereavement, I don't know how every state is. I do know outside of the majority of states, bereavements are probably around about 3 days. And if I'm wrong on that, please feel free to message me or say it in the room, Laura, if I'm not knowing any different. But the one thing I found interesting that there is one state, Oregon. Oregon is the only state where it is mandatory that your business do bereavement, and I found that completely shocking. I mean,
Wow. Out of all of them, just one?
yeah, just one. Um, I know when my husband's father passed away, I was working, and I won't put out on the air where that was, but it was a regular convenience store, and there was only 3 days, 3 days bereavement. And I find that interesting because, I mean, in the right mind, I can't imagine 3 days to be able to get your crap together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I found that interesting because most jobs would be like, well, we'll see you Monday. Get ready
Mm-hmm.
to get in here and punch in. And I just found that really interesting. But again, one of the things that, again, it's been 5 minutes later. For me, I find that trying to keep busy is probably so maybe going back to work could be a positive thing. But if you are struggling, one thing I want to point out to people is and there is an act, and it's a federal act. It's called FMLA, and that relatives breaks down to Family and Medical Leave Act, which entitles each employer that's covered under this to give you it. Now, mind you, here's the rub. It's unpaid leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it protects your job. So you have a job, but unpaid, which I know if anyone's like myself, it doesn't help a lot that it's unpaid.
No.
I mean, someone's got to make sure the lights are turned on.
Right. I know. That's why I think that maybe that's the way it is. I don't know. the short
Uh-huh.
amount of time that you're allowed,
It's like, "Get over it, girl."
right? I know because I totally Googled, um, what is it? Bereavement leave in Arizona, and one of the things it
Oh,
says, time allowed, 24 hours or
are you
40
kidding
hours.
me?
Yeah, it says that. I'll screenshot and send it to you, but it says, um, how many bereavement days are you entitled to in Arizona? And it said bereavement leave, time allowed, 24 work hours or 40 hours. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's more hours if the employee must travel outside of Arizona for the funeral.
yeah, it's
But
kinda
then
like
other than that, get your ass back. Get, get your ass back to work.
Beep, beep, beep.
Exactly.
Beep that, bird out there.
I know.
But
Sorry.
no, you're fine, you're fine. I did the beep. We're good. So, you know what I find interesting about this? Like, oh, you know what? We don't care that this person's been a part of your life, for 30 something years, get back in here and tote those crates, mop that
Right.
floor, cut that
Answer them
hair,
phones, do that filing.
right? Of course, the majority of people, like I said, you don't have that. You can't just expect to get by with no pay. But then
Mhm.
again, like I said, most people need to dive back in because of the distraction. So
Right.
as we had established, if you have to get back to work, because of the bills or whatever, okay, so you're back to work. You need the distraction. So what do you do with everybody else? Like that constant interaction, because you know what I mean? There's gonna be some Karens,
Mhm.
and they're gonna care.
Yes, in the Karen way.
Yeah, right? And they want some details, man. They want some details. So what are you gonna do?
Oh,
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
Now, what I find interesting is some things I looked up was the fact that they wanted some people recommend that you talk to your oh, what is it called? Mm, 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 mm. Oh my gosh, now it's just lost my head. That you, talked with not
Human
customer, your,
resources?
yes, there you go, there's the word, human resources. And I can't imagine talking with HRT about saying, "Oh, girl, I don't want my, desk mate over here asking me questions." I mean, I don't know, does that call it out more? What do you think? Does that make you feel even more uncomfortable asking the company itself? Because I mean, what are they gonna do? They're gonna have a big old meeting before you come in like, "Girl, nobody ask her." You know what I mean? What's happening? What's going on?
Right. I feel like that is a good option that it's there, but a lot of times I think they won't want to say anything because depending on the company, there's always one person that will tell everybody and everything anyways.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even if they say, hey, you guys, so and so's coming back to work, it's sensitive, do not, just be kind and not bring it up. There's going to be someone that's going to bring it up anyways because they think that the rules and stuff like that don't apply to them. Like, oh no, they'll tell me, oh they'll talk to me, and it's more like just give them space and time. Like, who wants to talk about that, especially at work in a public place like that
Oh,
where
yeah.
you'll all the emotions will hit, or it doesn't even have to be something. It can be anything at that point when you're grieving will make you lose it and the tears will stop flowing. You know
Oh, yeah.
but I,
I
I can
know.
see it being uncomfortable to go and say,
Oh, yeah.
you
I
know,
think
to
the
tell them that.
first Oh, yeah. I think the first, what, about 2, 3 months for myself, I wasn't even answering messages. I
Mhm.
really just didn't want to talk about it. But I mean, here 5 months later, I mean, you're still, and maybe this is just me, it's still in my head. I know you and I have both lost our fathers, and it's really, eh, I know relatively, soon in the years and the
Mhm.
months here.
Mhm.
Um, so it's not something that you just get over. And I think for me the most uncomfortable thing is when people tell me they're sorry. And I'm like, I never know what to say. Am I supposed to say thank you? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. How do you respond to that without, I don't know.
it's uncomfortable. It really is. I mean, and I can see it from the other side. I don't think I've ever been comfortable with death, whether it be the funerals or trying to be there for somebody else. I think I'm more the person like, "Girl, if you need to yell, I'll just stand right here and you can just, like, get in my face and stare me down and, yeah, yell your heart out." Um, and,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
just for my own family stuff, yeah. I'm used to getting the old yell.
right.
So
Yeah, so I'm
but
good with that. That's okay for me. Anything else,
yeah.
I don't know. But that's a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. I know when I lost my dad and there was some friends, like there was one that came like was honest with me and messaged me and said, this I'm not comfortable with death and I don't know what to say other than that, if you need to like vent, I'm here, but I really don't know how to handle this well. And I appreciate that rather than
Mhm.
someone to um just force it, like I really appreciated that she said that because I wasn't going to force somebody to message me or check in on me or anything like that if it made them uncomfortable. Not because I was trying to make them comfortable. It's because like if you hear about someone losing somebody like their loved one, like it can be triggering, and it is triggering
Oh,
for me when
yeah.
I hear other people that I with or friends with lose somebody. I get flashbacks to when I lost my dad, and I know that when I checked in with you and then I asked you because it can be triggering for some people. So sometimes if we think that someone's not reaching out to us, it could be because of that reason. But I appreciate that, like you being honest and saying, I'm not comfortable with death, but I'm here if you want to yell at
Oh,
me
yeah.
or you yell some stuff out and I'll yell with you. But and you know what I mean? Like I don't know even know if I'm
Yeah.
making any sense, but
I know, it's kinda like, I don't know what to say, but let's make a picture of margaritas.
oh yeah, talking my language.
Yeah, right? That's my love language, right? A big
hmm
old bottle of Moscato or box, hey, I'm not picky.
Oh
Um,
no.
but yeah, I think even and you know what I find the worst, the hardest? It's not just the job field that's harder to get back into, and I think it's the interaction that mainly it's not the work. The work I think is a great distraction. I think it's the interaction, and not that I fault people for caring or wanting to interact. That I
Uh-huh.
don't fault, I mean, that's just something it's in within our capacity, and I'm sure that you and I would do it was for somebody else. We would let them know, "Hey, we're here, if you need to talk or vent," or whatever the case may be. But I
hmm
think the biggest thing, it's hard to shut up, and maybe I'm more sensitive to it now, because like, I get on Facebook and it's, "I need prayers for this. This one passed away. My dog's gone. My cat's gone." And I'll be honest with you, I find it hard to scroll nowadays. I mean, is that just me? I mean, have you went through something similar to that?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you, I don't, I think I mentioned it before. My time on Facebook is very limited. Unfortunately, I can't totally go away from it because of the work that I do, but I do find myself away from Facebook a lot. Just I don't know what it is about it, and I'm seeing different posts and just things like that that I don't want to see or even and it's not even people that I personally know. It's just in the industry that I work with. I sometimes I'm like, how do I know this person?
Right?
But the things that I see on there just kind of discourage me, and I don't want that. So I just stay away from it, and I'll go on there and do what I need to do, and then kind of stay away from it for the most part. So I'm kind of the same.
Well, yeah, and I think it's what do they call those? Those the rhythm of them. what do they call that for social media? The algorithm. There's the word, the algorithm.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
maybe because we've said something like, I know when my father first passed away, I posted on Facebook about my father passed away because there's some family members and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so I posted it and tried to move away from it. Maybe it's the algorithm. Maybe when you put that out there, that's what ends up being in your feed. And so you just see more and more of it. And, just you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, man, why am I seeing all this stuff?" And that could be it. It could just be the algorithm and working through it in my own emotional kind of area on it. I find it
I
very
agree with
interesting.
that. Yeah, because, like, it's also like when they say these apps are listening because you could be talking about something or even thinking about something. And then you'll start seeing ads for it, while you're scrolling. And you're,
Right?
okay, are you listening in? Because I remember uh, I was talking to one of my friends asked me, about dating or something, and we were making a joke. And then, sure enough, the next day Facebook started telling me, showing me dating stuff, and I'm like, no thanks. But I think that it could
Yeah,
be
right?
that. I think it could be that.
I know, right? I mean, I'll say something. I'll be looking for something, and all of a sudden, these ads come up, popping up everywhere, and be like, "Girl, you looking for this? I got you. I got you. Come on down. We're on
Right?
sale this work, just 20% off."
And free shipping.
Right? Oh man. Oh, don't even go there because I'm all
Uh,
down for that.
oh
Shein, if
yeah.
you're listening, we're always willing to sponsor you here, girl. Come on down, Shein. I like you a lot.
We really do.
Yeah, right. The mailman knows. I've got this into the mailman. He's like, she's not grieving. She's still ordering Shein. I don't know what she's talking about.
Like, mind your business and leave the package.
Yeah, right. Come on, I represent you. We'll talk about you on my podcast. We'll get you on down here.
Exactly. Now we're gonna see Sheena now on our timeline because we
Right?
said
Yeah, my
something.
phone's in here, man. It already advertises me on Facebook. It's like, "Hey girl, we know you're in the restroom. What you gonna do in there? We don't want you concentrating that hard. You just get on here on Shein now."
Look what we got now.
Right? We know you want this. Come on. Um, so when we no, this is totally off track. Excuse me. So when we talk about distractions, heck, like we're just doing right now, it's very distracting. Sheehan, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Sheehan, you help me with my grief, girl. You're right there with me. Um, I need some more ripped up shorts.
It's your support. She's our support. Like they
Right?
say, like my support dog or my support this. It's like that's our support. Support stuff.
Right, right. And I gotta work, man, because I ain't got no money from this leave I'm not getting.
Exactly. Oh, now you'll see ads for that, some like local jobs near you or something,
Right, right.
being super helpful.
In your area now, shoveling manure 2 doors down.
Message today.
If anyone doesn't get that reference, I live very not urban. Um, well, I don't know. The hills have eyes, kind of give you a theory. The corn, something's coming out. The kids coming out of the corn.
Oh no.
That's where I'm at. So if you get the reference, and there is a horse farm just down a couple houses down from me. So yeah, I'm sure shovel manure is within my aspects of employment.
Oh no.
So, anyways, when we talk about distraction, and we have done a very good job of that, when we talk about distraction, um, does it get easier? I mean, that is one of the posts that I just put on Facebook a couple days ago, and my timer getting ready to tick down. So we have done 20 minutes. Can you believe that?
Oh wow.
Um, I know, right? Girl, this is what we should just do. We should just get on here and start ranting. I'm telling you. 20 minutes goes fast. But when we talk about distraction, is it any easier? Do we find that it's easier where it comes to grief, the distraction? And when you are out in public, that distraction, does it stop the grief? Does it stop the tears? I'm 50 years old, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't care who sees it anymore. My aspect would be I'd probably be more upset that you were watching me cry. What are you looking at?
Right?
If you ain't got hanky to get my snot, don't bother what's going on here. But
Yeah.
in all honesty, I don't think there's any easy answers where it comes
Mhm.
to grief. And
Okay.
according to a lot of
Mhm.
senses that I'm listening to, um, they're basically people say that you grieve at your own level, that it's never the same. Would you agree with that?
I do. I would, because that's like the
You
on the
would?
same lines as like everybody processes it differently, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's like, I feel like there's no right or wrong way to grieve, and I feel like um when someone tells you to get over it, or you should do this, or I did this and I didn't, it only took me like 2 months, or it only took me a few weeks, and good good for you. I don't know if you want a medal or a certificate or something. I just don't like when people volunteer that, because everybody's different. Everybody mourns different, just like everybody handles, other things that happen to them differently than, say, somebody else does, because that's what makes us all
Yeah.
unique, because we're all different. If we had things
Right.
the same way, then it would be, I don't know if that making any sense, but
Oh no. I think the reason we look for distraction is to find, and feel free to disagree with me, is normalcy. We
mhm,
want some sort of normalcy because, I mean, for me, the grief is more outstanding for me because there's no control over it. There's
right.
no limit to it. There's no expiration date. And oh my heavens, I could use an expiration date some days.
Oh no,
Um,
for sure.
well, yeah, right? I mean, and it's not just grief. Especially if you are trying to be a pillar of strength for your family. It can be drawing, especially, because you're going through the passage of grief yourself and trying to be the stronger person in your circle. I mean, it's tasking. It very much is.
Oh, for
So,
sure. And especially like if you're I usually find it's the most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time it's the oldest, or the
mhm,
the sibling that is like more of a caregiver. A lot of that falls
mhm,
on us. I'm the oldest in my family, so when I lost my mom and my dad, a lot of it fell to me. So I had to. I was. I felt like I had to put my grief and stuff on hold for everybody else, because
mm.
everybody else expected me to do a lot of the things that was required because of me being the oldest and me being the care person that took care of everything.
Oh
and
yeah.
and I'm sure you can relate to that, of handling a lot of things, and it's a lot on
It
top of your grieving and putting it on hold, and then it's a lot. So sometimes,
oh yeah.
using work or doing work related things is a nice distraction, because there's nothing, no surprises there. You know what you're doing, and
Right,
you know what needs to get done, and you just jump into it and get lost for however many minutes, hours, just
right.
for that time.
It's interesting because you're the oldest and I'm the youngest, but I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, here we are, we're at that time again, guys. Guess what that is? It's the Amazon deal of the day. I know, you
Woo!
couldn't wait till we got there, guys. I know, you're ticking away. You're like, "I don't know what they're talking about. Just tell me what's on sale, girl. I need to know."
Oh,
I
it's a good
feel you
one.
because. right? I feel you. So today, I don't know. I have been trying to do more it's called wall Pilates, and I love the mats, but I'm never doing it in the same place. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm outside, I got to find a place to roll down. And so one of the things that you might need yoga mat sling. Okay.
Mhm.
I know. It's durable carry strap for yoga mat with metal D rings for secure fit. There's no mat included in this, guys. That's the downside, but it's 15% off. Any yoga mat would fit into it. It's got a little bit of stretch to it. It is now $8.50, down from its $9.98. The links, as always, guys, will be in the bio. And thank you so much, Laura, for being with me this evening. I really enjoy these kind of chats. We're going to have to do a lot more of these because this is a lot more. I
Oh,
really
most
entertain it.
definitely.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, this kind of saves on our phone bill, right?
Like that's gonna ever stop us.
I know, right? Got to keep those minutes on that cell. So thank you so much, everybody, for paying attention and coming in and being here with us. As always, until next time, bye bye for now.